They told you education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.
Hello there and welcome to another episode of EduShift, where we'll help you shift towards education that aligns with purpose. I am your host, Priscilla Obasi. And remember, we don't just talk about education. We challenge it, we rethink it, and we push it towards purpose. Today, I want you to think about someone. Yes, someone. Not a politician. Not a celebrity, not a CEO. No. Let us think about one very important figure in our lives, and that is a teacher. The one who taught you how to read, the one who corrected your mistakes, the one who believed in you before you believed in yourself. Now, here's the question. Who is taking care of that teacher today? I know we've heard teachers' reward is in heaven, but I think it starts from earth. Our topic today is overworked and undervalued, the reality of teachers in today's education system. Because behind every successful student, there is a teacher. But behind many teachers today, what you find is exhaustion, frustration, and sometimes there is the silence that no one ever hears. Let me just paint a picture. A teacher wakes up 5 a.m., prepares for the day, goes to school, gets to school before the students arrive, teaches multiple classes, manages different personalities, marks assignments, handles administrative duties, acts as a counselor, acts as a disciplinarian, a mentor, and sometimes a parent. By the time school ends, the work is not still over. There are still lesson notes to write, reports, grading, planning, and all of that. And yet, at the end of the month, the reward does not match the effort. And then society says, a teacher's reward is in heaven. Teachers are doing their job. My question is, at what cost exactly? Let me talk about the reality of the workload. There is always too much on one desk. And let me break it down. What exactly does a teacher do? You may want to ask. Teaching, of course. But also there is classroom management that comes with all of that. There is emotional support for students. There is the administrative task, extracurricular supervision. There's record keeping. And sometimes they even manage conflict resolution between students, especially if you are, I'm sure, if you're in the early years, if you're a teacher in the early years, you know how many times your kids call your name in a day. I saw a viral clip of a teacher that, has to attend to her pupils in class, and every time she tries to concentrate, she hears her name. That's the reality of a lot of teachers. But then in many schools, one teacher is doing the job of teacher, counselor, data officer, disciplinarian, and sometimes all of this workload is done without the proper support. It's not just the work, it is overwork. This is not the work, trust me. And to crown it all, the effort, the salary that comes with all of this effort is nothing to write home about. One person carrying too much. And when that person begins to carry too much, something eventually suffers. Who suffers? We may want to ask. Of course, it bounces back automatically. There's no two ways about it. Let's talk about division of labor. And that is the missing structure that a lot of schools, are not in tune with. In a very functional system, roles should be clearly defined. Work should be distributed. Support systems should exist. There should be staff, supporting staff. I know that some schools have this. In today's private schools, you find out that you have a class and you have two teachers in that class. One teacher is in charge of, more like an assistant, helping with, students, helping to feed the children during break times and all of that. That is quite commendable. But sometimes that assistant is also meant to help with the cleaning of the classroom. There's always just so much on the table. Everything sometimes still falls back to the teacher. And when you talk about schools that have population, you have a class of over 30 students. How easy is it to manage 30 students? 2 teachers handling 30 students. That's a case of 2 teachers in the classroom is quite fair. You might want to now compare it with a case that a teacher is meant to oversee everything, just one teacher. And you can imagine how that would turn out. This happens because there are not enough staff. Support roles are actually missing. The system is built in so much weakness. So teachers absorb everything. And when teachers are overwhelmed, there is no way they would give their best because passion itself has limits. You might say, oh, I am such a passionate teacher. But trust me, passion also needs fuel. Passion needs the right support. Let's talk about the welfare question. Are teachers truly valued? I'm not just talking salary, of course. Salary is at the forefront of this conversation. But let's talk about the working conditions. Let's talk about respect. Lots of teachers are resigning because of the fact that they are not well respected. A parent comes into the classroom, or a child reports a situation to their parents and they just want to come lash out on the teachers. The school do not provide any kind of safety for these teachers. You join parents to lash out on your teachers. That is really bad. Lack of motivation, personal growth. When you're overwhelmed, you don't even have the space, the mental energy, the mental capacity, the mental space to think of growing yourself professionally. Yet, there are still teachers that are underpaid. They are undervalued and they are under-recognized. And we expect them to produce excellent students. We expect them to produce future leaders, to produce responsible citizens. Can a system that neglects its teachers truly produce excellence? Can you answer that question? Sometimes these teachers have to start to cut corners. And you know what that means? Their students automatically learn such habits because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot. So they just find a means to survive that rubs off automatically on the student. Now let's talk about the emotional cost, the burnout in silence. There's this aspect that people don't even see. It's called burnout. Many teachers are tired. They are not just tired physically, they are emotionally drained. Teaching is not just an intellectual work, it is emotional labor. And dealing with struggling students, dealing with difficult behaviors, dealing with pressure from management, dealing with expectations, sometimes unrealistic expectations from parents. With all of this, there's still little support for the teacher's mental well-being. So they keep going. But there is no way they would ever be at their best. And if you try to connect the dots, if you understand how teachers are overworked, underpaid, undersupported, who would feel it? Of course, the students. Because lessons eventually become rushed, attention becomes limited, patience becomes thinner, and gradually the quality of education drops. So this is not just a teacher problem. It's actually automatically a system problem. We say we want to raise leaders of tomorrow. We need to take care of this very people, the set of people that sacrifice their time to invest into the leaders of tomorrow. Very important. There's a reason why all of these problems persist. It is still happening till date. You go to that nearby secondary school in your neighborhood and talk to that teacher. Ask them how much they receive a salary. You'll be shocked. And you're wondering in the midst of it, how is this supposed to help, to cushion the effect of transportation, to cushion, money to feed, to have your normal, maybe a 2 square meal in a day. You're still meant to take care of yourself. You're still meant to look good in the midst of all of this. How is it even possible? All of this is happening because education is under-prioritized. Yeah, there are schools that are dedicated to giving quality, lives to their teachers. But how many are they if we decide to count? What is the percentage? So it's still a menace in our society because the number of schools that actually tend to take care of their teachers are quite few compared to the majority of private schools we have. So it is something to talk about. Education is often under-prioritized, and teacher welfare in the most part is not treated as urgent. Schools also try to cut costs. They try to cut corners. You're meant to employ a teacher to take 3 different subjects or maybe 4, then you encompass it, you compress it, you give it to one person, and you expect to have brilliant students. Maybe the few students that are academically outstanding may try, but how about those that require enough patience to learn? Where do you leave such students? Of course, behind, because every child is different. There's some children that you have to really go close to get their attention. There are some that will give it to you themselves. So we must consider the fact that we are doing more harm to our future leaders than good. And you're not just affecting that teacher's life, you're affecting a future generation. So there's also limited policy enforcement. Well, we must give kudos to the current Minister of Education. I think he's well invested in the educational system, but it's important that policy enforcement be made. It's not enough to announce on paper. It's not enough to announce on the news. It's not enough to announce in the ministry. It is important to enforce a system that ensures that policies are enforced. But yes, policies are carried out, implemented. Every school gives and does their own part. If you don't do that, the endless cycle continues. Now, let's reimage the system. And when we talk EduShift, we talk solutions. Awareness is not just enough. We have brought the issues to the limelight, and I'm sure a lot of teachers are going to be happy with this episode. Do not forget that I said there are schools that actually are doing their best, but they're not enough. We need to change it. For the government, better salary structures. And when we're talking about educational system, the first place to even look or point to is the government structures, our government schools. How are teachers treated? What is the workload? We keep hearing of the workload on teachers, especially even in government schools. You're handling students, 50 in a classroom, and you're meant to take 5, 3, 6, 4, 3 classes in a day. And do not forget that you're dealing with maybe adolescents. It's a lot. So we need to talk better salary structures. And as we said, we need to enforce policies that will change the system. We also need better funding for education. That is for the for the government. Now for schools, better division of labor. Hiring support staff should be a compulsory thing. You also need a fair workload distribution. You need teacher development programs. It's not enough to keep draining the teachers and expecting them to do their best. You need to find a system, create a system that refuels them, that helps them develop better. Also, society always has a part to play. Respect the teaching profession. Value teachers beyond the results and recognize their contributions. For teachers, you need continuous self-development. You need to set boundaries where possible. You need to seek support networks. Let's go for a short break. We will join the kids on the entertainment segment. When we return, the conversation continues. Please stay with us.
It's edutainment time on EduShift.
Daddy, can I play piano with you?
No, not now. I'm quite busy, okay? Please, I need to get work done, honestly. Please, you just need to let me be for now, right?
But I'm bored.
So sad to hear you're bored, but I don't have any idea what you can do right now.
I can create a game.
What'd you say?
I can create a game.
That sounds so interesting. Please, I can't wait to see that. Go ahead, create your game, my boy.
Hello everybody, my name is Ethan Namkwabasi. Today I'm going to be making a maze game. And the maze game is about a beetle in the maze. And at the end of the maze there's an apple. And when it touches the black line, it will go back to the beginning. Let's go! First, to get the sprite that is the beetle. Right now, I'm trying to search for the beetle. So here's my beetle. The second step is to get the background. Let's reduce the size to 60. First, we get forever. Then second, we get if then. Third, we go to seasoning and get up arrow key. Now, go to motion and get move 10 steps. Second, we get point in direction. So we set it at point to direction 0. Now we're going to duplicate it. First, we put our mouse on the then right click. You see duplicate, then you duplicate it. You put it inside the forever. I'm doing right. I'm doing right arrow. Now, I'm going to do the left arrow.
So anytime you want to.
The beetle is eating the apple. Oh, I have not yet done that. Now we duplicate it again. Now, if it touches the black line, it will go to the beginning again. I have to bring another if then. Now we go descending, then we get touching color. The last if then is for when the beetle hits the wall, the game should start all over again. Yeah. It's your time. Oh, it's a glide. So now we go to motion and get glide. Come on. Oh, I have to duplicate this. X is 140, while Y is 146. So let's test it out. Come on, what's wrong with you? Why is it not working? Oh, now I know why it was not working. The X and Y was not the same. So now let's start. Come on, what? Wow, it's working. Do you like it? Now our game is done. So let's grab some popcorn and enjoy our game. He's going fast. Oh! I guess we need to make some adjustments. The bottle is moving too fast. So let's reduce the steps from 10 to 5. Let's enter full screen. Thanks for watching, friends. Parents, show this to your kids and don't forget to like and share.
Welcome back and thank you very much for staying with us. If you are just tuning in, this is EduShift and we're talking about overworked and underpaid, the reality of teachers in today's society. Now, what happens when teachers are supported? Let's paint a different picture. A school where teachers are supported, work is shared, effort is rewarded, teachers are motivated. In such a school, teaching improves, students engage better, learning becomes meaningful because when teachers thrive, students thrive. And let me leave you with this. If we want better students, we must invest in better teaching conditions. If we want a better future, we must support those shaping it. Education does not happen in isolation. It actually happens through people. And the most important people in the system are teachers. If you're a teacher watching this, share this. Make sure you call someone, to just get a hang of it on our socials. Everybody needs to listen to this. If you're a school owner, please, it's time for us to think differently and to do better. I want to say a very big thank you for joining me today on EduShift. I still remain your host, Priscilla Obasi. And remember, if we truly value education, we must start by valuing the educator. Bye for now.
They told you education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.